This is Cooking with Scuttle. Today we have our first ever virtual episode. We're going to talk with co-owners Anna and Mike from Tnt Bitters. They're going to tell us about their company, a really awesome project they're working on, and then we're going to hear from Mike as he shows us some of his favorite cocktails using Tnt Bitters. Hey Anna, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Will you tell us a little about Tnt Bitters?
Sure. So Tnt Bitters, our full name is Tonic and Tinctures Bitters Company, but it's way cooler when you shorten it to TNT. We've both worked in restaurants and bars pretty much our whole lives and wanted to get into the production side of it and create a product that we really believed in. We like the idea that we can produce a really high quality product that we appreciate and know others will as well.
Yeah.
So the good part of bitters is you get a lot of testing and a lot of fun cocktail mixing to go with it.
We can get into that a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And for those who don't know what bitters are, when we say bitters, could you just tell us about bitters themselves?
Absolutely. Bitters are like the salt and pepper of the cocktail world. Essentially just a really concentrated flavor. They're alcohol based. We use citrus peels and barks and leaves and roots and all sorts of fun flavoring agents. They sit for a couple weeks, you strain it out, add a little sugar and water so it's not crazy bitter, and that's it. Put a couple dashes in a drink and you're good to go.
That's really awesome.
The actual definition of a cocktail requires bitters to be in it. Nowadays we call any rum and coke or margarita a cocktail, but
I might be guilty of using the term incorrectly then too.
Yeah. Everybody does. We're all used to it. It's totally cool.
I like bitter things in general, but I think the bitter flavors of bitters and all the flavors that they bring really do round out whatever it is, whatever recipe you're using them in.
We've started kind of experimenting and hope to kind of inform the public more about using them in food. I mean, that you can definitely add them to royal icing is a really popular one to add some orange bitters to, but you can use them in marinades and salad dressings and barbecue sauces, and they kind of bring out a different flavor. They highlight the sweet and the salt and the sour.
Yeah, I'll have to try them in some dressings. I make a lot of dressings at home.
Yeah.
So would you mind telling us about your favorite bitter?
I think of them all as my children and I love them equally, but I do play favorites a little bit. Mine's a tie between our Pink Mist, which is our smoked grapefruit bitters.
Wow.
We use fresh and dry grapefruit peel, and we use applewood chips and hickory chips, and we smoke the liquid, smoke all the product, smoke the grain neutral spirit. It's just a lot of smoke. But that's my favorites.
That's really cool. We'll actually dive in for the viewers to see and hear more about this project that you're working on. So do you want to tell us about this?
Sure. Since we don't have a ton of bars and restaurants to sell to, we've been taking our alcohol that we have, which is 190 proof grain neutral spirit. So super high concentrated, not something you want to drink. We take that and we've been making hand sanitizer with it. It's been really great during this kind of crazy time around the world that the United States government has two different licenses that you need to make consumable alcohol products and non-consumable alcohol products. And they've just lifted that sanction so you can do both now.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've been making a lavender scented hand sanitizer, which is just great to be able to use our stuff and give back. And a portion of our proceeds are all going to the United States Bartenders Guild Relief Fund.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're doing 20% of all hand sanitizer sales and all our online orders because I think we were both just feeling like we wanted to give back. We needed something to do, and this was a really easy thing that we could do. And once those regulations were lifted, it made it a no-brainer for us.
Mm-hmm. And it really ties in well with what you do too.
Yeah, definitely. It makes, we wanted to make sure that we're still connected with that bar and restaurant world that we've grown up in. So we wanted to do something for our fellow bartenders out there. And when we were thinking of scents to put in, all the recipes are tea tree oil and eucalyptus, and I like lavender a lot. I think it smells really good and has that whole calming effect. So we went with lavender.
And that was definitely a time when people could use some calming effect, that's for sure.
Definitely, yes, for sure.
I think people get kind of tired of using hand sanitizer, smelling like it, but I really like that added component.
All right, great. So we're going to mix up a batch of this hand sanitizer. So it's a 1-to-3 ratio. So we're going to take our grain neutral spirit, which looks just like water.
That's definitely not water.
Definitely not water. And we're going to fill it up. We'll do 64 at a time because that's how big my measuring cup is. Go ahead and pour that in. And then we'll do one more of 32. Okay. So now we've got a big bucket with lots of grain neutral spirit. So we actually mix the aloe and the grain neutral spirit together, and then we add the lavender oil to each individual bottle. So here I've got already measured 32 ounces of aloe vera, so I can just pour it right in. And you'll see the water or the alcohol get a little cloudy. So that mixes together. And so when we strain it out and we let it sit so it settles, it ends up looking like this, where it's just a slightly cloudy liquid.
To me, it's really impressive that as a company and as a team, you're like, all right, all this stuff that's happening, it's crazy, but we've got to do something. And I like that you found something meaningful that helps people and that also is relevant to what you're doing. So it sounds like just the perfect fit.
As I said before, it was kind of a no-brainer.
You are still shipping and taking orders online, right?
Yep, our product is classified as a grocery product, so it can ship to all the 50 states. You can order our stuff directly from our website, and we'll get it out as soon as possible. So you're now going to visit my business partner here, Mike Shane, and he's going to make some great cocktails for you using our bitters.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Hannah. My name is Michael Shane. I'm sort of the front of house in TNT Bitters. I handle a lot of the sales and marketing, as well as creating cocktails and trying to get our product really in front of bartenders and those type of things. I love bitters because it is this like little thing you can add to almost any drink that just morphs the flavor, changes it up in this little way that if it wasn't there, maybe it would still be a good drink. And then when it is there, it's a great drink.
Actually, maybe I'll take this opportunity to point out
TNT stick. It's our sample stick. There's 4 1-ounce bottles in there of what we called our core 4. Those are the 4 we started with. It's Alibi, which is an aromatic and citrus bitter. Kamikaze, which is our horseradish ginger. You've got Napalm in the Morning is our espresso bitter, which is made with Iron Coffee Company out of Hoosick Falls, New York. So we had a nice little local partnership there. And then you also get Pink Mist, which is our smoked grapefruit bitter.
I really like the name TNT Bitters, and I really like the meaning behind the name, tonic and tinctures. I think that's clever.
We shortened it down, made it TNT, and went with like the sort of comic book Acme look. Explosive flavor, sort of marketing wrote itself.
So it sounds to me like all of these are going to perfectly balance out whatever you're adding them to. So I really like that.
One of the things I really say about how to use bitters is if you're making a drink, think about the flavor in the drink you want to pull out and add that bitter. If you want a little more orange because you're using just like a splash of orange juice or you're using an orange liqueur, balance that with an orange bitter, and then those flavors combined make that orange flavor a more fully rounded flavor.
Do you want to walk us through any recipes?
Yeah, so saying that my favorite being the Napalm in the Morning espresso, a really basic one is a rye old fashioned. So if you think rye has a bit of a spicier flavor, spicy like grain, it pairs really well with the earthiness in the Napalm in the Morning. 2 to 3 ounces of the rye, sugar to taste, I'd say no more than 1/4 ounce. And then 5 to 6 dashes of Napalm in the Morning, put a big cube in there. Give it a nice few stirs. If you've got an orange peel and a peeler, a little right on top of it, and you're good to go with that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty simple.
The other drink that I really love is I named a Mezcal and Chill. It's a play on, obviously, Netflix and Chill, but also on a Mezcal Old Fashioned. It's a very simple recipe. It's 2 ounces of Mezcal, 1 ounce of an Ancho Reyes pepper liqueur, nice spice, little sweet, and then about 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, about 4 to 5 dashes of the Napalm in the Morning. Put it all together in a glass, stir it again. That I really like because each component pairs well with part of what the bitter flavor is.
Yeah.
The sort of earthy coffee flavor does really well with the mezcal. The spiciness, a little sweetness, hits some of those like the actual bitter notes in the bitter, and then the sweetness actually pulls out. There's very little chocolate in the espresso bitter. You get a much more full, almost chocolatey sweetness, and then again, little orange citrus twist on top. Just really nice.
How could they find you online?
It's www.tntbitters.com. Also follow us on Instagram. It's at Tnt Bitters. The Instagram's a little kind of the best way to follow us, to get in touch with us. A lot of good recipes we try and put up there, new flavors, new collaborations, anything we do.
People have lots of time on their hands these days to stay home and make some drinks. Special thanks to Anna and Mike from Tnt Bitters. Definitely check out their website. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time and we'll teach you all about something else.
Food porn.